Welcome back, my Fredichus. It's Jeffachu, and this is episode Cat at the Door. Yes, this is episode Cat at the Door. No, this is episode 22. And glad to see you guys are back. I know in the last video I said that only like 0 people have been watching my stuff, but then I remembered that Akira has actually come in and taken a quick little look-see. She was on vacation for a while, so that's why she couldn't be a part of our excursions for a little bit. So I at least still have 1 viewer, so I'll take 1 over none, because otherwise, what am I doing this for? All joking aside, I do kind of want to segue into something I think is a little bit important to talk about. I just got done watching The Disaster Artist for the 2nd time. I saw it once in theaters with a good friend of mine, and we loved it because we're a big fan of The Room, we're a big fan of Tommy Wiseau, all that kind of stuff. A little bit of background information for those of you that don't know. Tommy Wiseau is he's kind of an enigma. Nobody really knows much about Tommy Wiseau. Oh, that's why it won't open. There's an enemy. I couldn't figure it out, and I didn't realize that the music had changed. Nobody really knows much about Tommy Wiseau, but he created this he created this movie a while back called The Room, and it has been since known as the greatest worst film of all time. Like, it's the perfect bad movie. It's got terrible acting, it's got just everything you could want in a bad movie. And it's hilarious. So, The Disaster Artist is a movie produced by James Franco, starring James and what's his brother's name? I'll put a note up on the title or on the screen. I can't think of his brother's name at the moment, and it tells the story of the creation of The Room. Greg Sestero, one of the co-actors of The Room, the second main star, he had written a book called My Life on the Set of The Room. The Disaster Artist, My Life on the Set of The Room. And it was all about, pretty much what it says in the book, his experiences being in the room. And it was just interesting because, you hear everything he has to say, and it sounds like it was such a nightmare to do this movie. The set and the way the Tommy Wiseau treated his actors, it was just, you'd think it was just terrible, and it was, if there's another fucking enemy somewhere, and if all's to be believed, it was pretty shitty to work on the set, but all that aside, it ended up getting made, and people love it now. But the reason I wanted to talk about this today was because, Tommy Wiseau, in this movie, The Disaster Artist, he is portrayed as someone who tried his best to make this movie a hit, and when he finally had an opening day premiere for his movie, he was devastated because people weren't responding to it the way he thought they would. He wanted this movie to be a drama, and he wanted it to be taken seriously, and people were laughing at his movie because it is very comical to watch because of how bad it is. But it was something that Tommy Wiseau needed to do. He had always wanted to be an actor, and he took that step. He took that chance in his life to finally become an actor and create his own movie. And the people they thought it was a joke, and it hurt him for a moment. But in the movie, and I don't know if this is exactly how it actually went in real life, but in the movie, Greg Sestero his best friend at the time, and still best friend, convinces Johnny in the movie The Disaster Artist that people love the movie, and although they might not love it for the reasons Johnny wanted them to love it, they still do in fact love it. And it did open up. And so he ends up Tommy ends up changing his mind and ends up saying that it is a comedy, like a dark comedy, even though it's pretty clear he meant it to be taken seriously, and that he just unfortunately didn't have the talent at the time. He's actually a much better actor now, in my humble opinion, but not the greatest by any stretch, but still a decent, it's good from what he was, essentially. So why am I going over all this? What am I saying? Where am I trying to get to? Well, I think that ultimately what we need to recognize is that despite everything, Tommy Wiseau has a lot of frickin' resilience. People his whole life told him he wasn't gonna make it. The people laughed at his movie when he made his movie. And when I say he wasn't gonna make it, I mean he wasn't gonna make it in like the acting career, in Hollywood. And now he has a cult following. Like, his movie is loved by so many people. And it's, a lot of people think of it as like a joke. Like, who could love this movie? It's garbage, but that's what they think. But it's still a really fun romp, it's a fun movie to try to get into and to just kind of see. And even though he was brought down by the way they felt about his movie, he didn't let it stop him. He was resilient all the way through, and he saw his dreams come to fruition. And I think not enough people follow their dreams. They let too many people tell them that you're no good, you can't do this, you don't have the ability to succeed. And even if Tommy shouldn't have had the ability to succeed, he did succeed. And it was because he never gave up on his dream. And I think that is such an important lesson for so many people who are struggling right now with all kinds of things, with their relationships, with their dreams, what they want to do with their lives. I think everyone could learn something by watching the movie and just taking a page out of Tommy's book. At the beginning of the movie, the character, or the guy who plays Greg Sestero, says to Johnny that the reason he wants to, or says to Tommy that the reason he wants to work with him is because Tommy has this, he's fearless. He has this ability to just go forth and try to do everything that he does, no matter what. And there we go, there's one. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate on doing this little mini game thing. I doubt I have the ability to finish this right now. But we're gonna try it. He compliments Tommy on being fearless and just going out there and doing what his dreams are and not caring what people think. And Tommy shows this, or the guy who plays Tommy in the movie shows this multiple times, how he doesn't care what other people think of him. He goes and he does it. And it's just it's so impressive just how much resilience he must have. Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to be able to succeed on that. I didn't have the magic. I needed arrow as well. That wasn't going to work. Anyway, did I get this yet? There we go. And he shows that fearlessness. And he just... He lets his true colors show. He doesn't let anything stop him. He doesn't let the naysayers or the people who think he sucks get in his way of doing what he wants to do, what he loves to do. And those kinds of stories are like super inspiring to me. Because I have, a lot of times in my life, I have let fear keep me from experiencing life, experiencing my dreams. And we're getting a little real in this episode, just so you know. Like, this is a we're talking about some semi-heavy stuff, not like, you know, like life and death kind of stuff, but just, oh, this is the Blizzard one. Come on, get it. There we go. But we're still going to talk about some kind of heavy stuff. Like, so excuse me, I've always let fear kind of run my life. I wouldn't say ruin my life, because I've had a lot of successes and I've overcome a lot of fears, but it's still something that I worry about. And watching this movie again has reminded me that sometimes you just have to go all in. You need to do whatever it takes and not let fear get in your way. Everybody said that that Tommy should have failed. And by all rights, he should have failed. His movie, The Room, only made $1,800 in its opening weekend, and he allegedly spent over $6 million on this. Now, I don't have $6 million, okay? I don't know too many people who do have $6 million, you know, who could just do that to make their dreams come true. This asshole somewhere. There he is. You dickmonger. Let's fucking kill you. There we go. Ooh, and I got an HP up for that. Nice. That I need to do something else somewhere. Okay, whatever. We've got a cutscene coming up, so I will continue this in just a moment. I think we have a cutscene in here, don't we? I assumed we did. I know there are hidden chests somewhere in here, but I don't actually care enough to find them right now. Alright, well, there's gonna be a thing here soon enough. So, I love to write, okay? And trust me, this is all going to be connected. I love to write. I am constantly thinking. I'm constantly kind of in my own little world. Thinking about stories, scenarios, character designs and creations. Even if I'm not like the greatest like artist or anything, I know how I would want my characters drawn. I can see them in my head. I come up with these ideas, and I'm very passionate about my ideas. There have been times where I've, you know, in school and in other places in my life where I have gone ahead and shown some of my creativity with my, I hate these guys, they're dangerous, where I have shown my creativity with my writing. And, sorry, I'm trying something new here. Cool. Trying to stun lock him. Oh, that strategy works pretty well, actually. Coolio. So, on the few times that I have gone and revealed my writings, I've had people tell me that I'm very good. That they can that they can see the characters I've created, that they like the scenarios. Now, not everybody, not always all my friends, because sometimes they see a rough draft, or I'm getting their intake on something. And sometimes that intake, when it's a larger work, is super valuable, obviously. I mean, you need someone to look over your stuff. But we have a cutscene coming up here in a moment. But so, I have done like short stories and, like kind of poems and whatnot that I have shown people, and they have told me that it's good, and that they like what I have shown them. Oh, dicks, this guy is immune to that. I forgot about that. Just gotta remember not to do that. And people really seem to like what I bring to the table. We'll leave it there, because now I think we definitely have a cutscene. Yeah, here it is.
That was too close. As long as I have my trident, I will not tolerate those creatures inside this palace.
Wouldn't it have been kind of cool if, like, when Ursula stole the trident, the palace got infected by Heartless, and that was what you had to do? Like, and he's like, oh, I don't have my trident, I can't stop the Heartless.
Behold, you swim before the ruler of the seas, His Majesty King Triton.
And who are they?
They helped us fight off those creatures.
They don't look familiar.
We're from an ocean very far away.
Yup, we came to find the keyhole.
The what?
What's that?
Well, it's a...
There's no such thing, certainly not here.
But Daddy...
He may as well have just said, I know exactly what that is, but I'm not gonna tell you.
Leave the palace. Is that clear? Perhaps I'm being too strict. I'm just concerned for her safety.
Of course, Your Majesty. But I must admit, now I'm quite curious about this keyhole.
Sebastian sees through your shit.
Concern you, Sebastian. Have you anything to report?
Just as you suspected, Your Majesty, they seem to be coming from Ursula's grotto.
I knew it. That sea witch is up to no good again. A sea exile from the palace has taught her nothing.
Yes, she poses serious danger.
And I told you to keep Ariel away from such danger, did I not?
Your Majesty, please,
What is he supposed to do? He's just a little crab thingy. Like, that's kind of a lot of work. Alright, so yeah, so as I was saying, so I have shared my short stories and some of my poems. I don't write poetry very often, but I have shared some of that stuff with people and even some friends, and they all seem to really like it. However, I'm really big into writing novels, like series novels. So like, go to my grandma horses, there it is. So like book series. So you know, like Harry Potter is a book series, that kind of thing. That's what I mean when I say novels and series and blah 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 blah. Okay, so now we're caught up to speed. Good. And there is one I've been working on since I was in high school, and it means a lot to me. And I've never quite been completely satisfied with the first book. I once had the entire first book written out. Oh, you fucker. I don't have the first book written out anymore because I did show it to a friend, and he didn't say like, oh, you suck, you know, this is the worst thing ever. But he gave me some really good constructive criticism, and upon reflection, I realized that a lot of what he had said was absolutely correct. Like, there was stuff that was missing, stuff that didn't really fit well. It needed to be changed. And so, upon that reflection, I went about rewriting the first half. And then as I was rewriting the first half, I hit a wall, and I was like, well, you know, I should probably write, you know, there are more things I can fix. And as I did that, more ideas came up, ways to make it better, this, that, and the other thing. Part of it is that I just have never been fully satisfied with it. But I also recognize that a large part of why I have never attempted to get it published was because I was scared. Look at all the wonderful things Flounder and I've collected. I think it's all from the outside world. Someday I'm gonna see what's out there in other worlds. No, not at all. I used to feel the same way. Used to? I mean, I still do. Hey, why don't we try looking for that keyhole thing you were talking about? But your father said, oh, he treats me like a little girl. He never lets me do anything. He just doesn't understand. Okay, good. We can leave now. At least I think we can leave now. Yeah, now we can leave. Mama's little poopsies are now going to tell Ursula all about the stuff.
Those impudent fools will never find the keyhole. But the girl could prove useful, and I've got the heartless on my side. Triton, my old friend, your day is coming.
Wow. That was a really weird animation right there. Okay, cool. I don't remember what we're supposed to do now. But yeah, so part of why I have never gone out and tried to do anything about this is, I've been scared. What if people don't like it? What if it's not as good as I think it is? What if, basically. And it sucks to think that way, because I've been told over and over and over again that I do have talent. And it's disappointing that I let this fear kind of hold me off. Now, like, yes, I said I do have some stuff I need to do to make it a bit better before I'm ready. But I wonder if, you know, if I'll ever truly be ready. Will I always come up with an excuse not to do it, if that makes any sense? And watching The Disaster Artist reminded me that, you know, sometimes you guys just have to do it. Like, just do it! But seriously, like, if you spend too much time worrying about what people think, you don't end up taking that chance. So like doing this whole like YouTube series was something I had always wanted to do, and for a while, the reason I didn't do it was because I didn't have a capture card. Well, now I have a capture card and there's no excuse not to do it. So I'm doing it, and I recognize I only have about, I only have 8 subscribers for this channel. And I've said over and over and over again that I'm not doing this as a way to... yeah, okay, so, yeah, we have to go to the other part. I came all this... Oh, no, I'm trying to read off what he said there. That's no good. I don't have as many viewers as I would like for this. It's not anything that I was like super, oh my god, I need to be the next Markiplier, but I was hoping I'd have people, at least my friends, watching it. And maybe they do, but according to my view statistics, not too many people are watching. And that's, it's a little upsetting, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I thought more people, at the very least my friends, would spend a bit more time watching, or, watching at all. Okay, so now all the MP's gone. But it's not a big deal. But the reason it's not a big deal to me is because this isn't what I had my heart and my mind set on. This isn't, the end-all be-all. Like, oh, I didn't mean to do that, but okay, I guess we've done it. I don't know if I'll ever be as good of an author as like J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter or anything like that, but I would like to think the stories I want to tell are at the very least entertaining, even if they're not the most original in the world, because originality is hard to come by. A lot of everything has been done, unfortunately, and you've got to really try hard to be super original. So, although my story may have been original when I was first thinking about it, times have changed, and maybe my story that would have been original so many years ago is now not as original as I would have liked. And I recognize that, and I'm okay with that, but I still think my story is entertaining enough to warrant people reading it. But then, what happens when a publisher says no? Over and over and over again. Now, I know that a lot of famous authors have been told no over and over and over again. And that you just gotta be resilient. And that's what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm trying to say with all of this, is you have to be resilient. You have to be Tommy Wiseau, and you have to not let the naysayers and the people who think you're not good enough stand in your way. I might never be completely satisfied with the first book in my series. Few people ever really are. I've come up with many other ideas for stories and series that, like, I think stand as good a chance, if not a little bit better, because they're, I don't want to say better, but I have the experience of being a better writer now, because I have new and fresh ideas, and sometimes, although I think my first ever series has some great ideas in it, I know I need to do a little bit better with it, because if I don't, what am I trying to say? My other series that I think about, they're based more in a type of reality, like our reality, and my first ever series is a completely original world. And so it's easier to sell a story based more in real reality, I would think, than a fantasy made up one. And so I could see where my stories might not do as well. My first story might not do as well. It's easier to come up with stuff happening in a pseudo real world than it is coming up in a world of your own creation in your mind. So it's just, it's one of those things that you've got to you've gotta try to do, even if you think it's not worth it, even if you think no one will look at it. You've got to be like Tommy Wiseau. You have to realize that there are going to be people that want to read it. There are going to be people that, you know, like your ideas, and you can't be afraid to live those dreams. And that's basically what I wanted to talk about in this episode. I know one day I will attempt to get it published, and I think watching something like The Disaster Artist really helps me remember that I do have to keep that faith and keep that mindset that one day it will be okay, and I will succeed, even if it's not how I wanted it to be at first. So it's really all I wanted to talk about in this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you do something nice for yourselves today. You know, whoever's watching this, because I know at some point, at some day, someone's gonna watch this, and that holds true for any time. I hope you guys do something nice for yourselves today. No panhandling for anything else today, but, you know, just the main message of today is be resilient. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next episode.